Fondly. Thank you. I want to thank the community for coming out. I want to thank the African Community Centers for conceiving of the idea of the community assemblies. Because there's a process that happens by us actually coming together, being in the same space, and being able to talk about the issues which are important to us. To do that together is the process of how you create community. Community does not mean sameness. Okay? Community means a joining of spirit as you work and think and do and create together. That's a challenge for us here. Because of the Ma'afa experience, the Ma'afa experience was about disconnection. Right. Disconnecting us from each other and disconnecting us from our spiritual traditions, from our ancestors, from Africa. And so we are in the business and about the business of healing. Having said that, I want to do some disagreeing. Now, right here in front of everybody, I don't agree that it is reasonable, nor even that what we want is to have unity among different spiritual systems that we are involved in. Because by the very definition of those systems, it is a belief system, and we have represented beliefs that are very different from each other. I don't believe that the statement of Marcus Mosiah Garvey means what people seem to be interpreting it to mean. Maybe what I would want to do is switch the words around. I don't necessarily think that this one God should come first. I think the most important thing is the aim. And so if we are going to come together, then what we've got to do is have some ground rules about what are we coming together around. Unity as an abstraction is not necessarily a goal. It is a strategy in terms of the Pan-African world that we will gain power as we come together and work together. Like Mama Virgie said, the fingers that are separate on a hand coming together and making that fist. That doesn't mean that your goal is just unity. Unity for what? I would submit that it needs to be about the reclamation of African sovereignty and the building of an African world order, a Pan-African world order based on the principles of Ma'at. Okay? I would hope that we could agree on that. We talk about Ma'at, somebody talked about Mother Earth, yet we've got a panel here with all of these people, and we got one system. We got to think about that. What does it represent? Did it happen by accident? I called Mama Sunkwa to come and be here, because I was thinking about that. I want to thank those who have come, because it's not easy. Got work to do. All these people are busy, but they have come out of their love for the community to represent their deepest beliefs. And for that, I want to thank you all for doing this. I think that Marcus Garvey was saying in that phrase that we must not separate our political goals as a people, our quest for self-determination and sovereignty, from our spiritual system, beliefs, or the religion that you consider yourself to be a part of. That's a very powerful idea for us at this time, and I don't think we have accepted that. If we accepted that, we would have less of disagreement between us on the basis of the systems that we're in. In other words, what I'm saying is not that we would give them up, but that we could work together in what I think is functional unity if we held everybody accountable for how was their system working to achieve African sovereignty. How is their system making people within the system accountable to Ma'at? So that you don't have a system, you don't have a religion which says that because he is a priest, he can behave in horrible anti-African ways towards the African family. Because he's a priest, he's up there and we can't touch him, we can't question him. Ma'at doesn't say that. Ma'at says that each and every one of us looks inside deeply and answers those questions and says, am I all that I should be as an African person? Have I disrespected African people? Those kinds of questions are the deep questions, and everybody has to answer them. Not just those who are considered to be the lowly. And they can't watch those who are considered to be the leaders doing things that they shouldn't do. That's right. And not raise those questions. We all have the responsibility to question every single African person about their behavior. That's doing Ma'at. And I would think that that can bring us together. On that basis, are we willing to do that? And having said that, let me ask the question about the African worldview. The African worldview, which tells us that all Africans believe in a universal life force that exists in all of us. The African worldview, which tells us about communalism. The African worldview that tells us about spirituality, not materialism. Which doesn't mean that we don't need an economic system which is about the distribution of our resources. You understand? So when we answer this question, make sure you're talking about the African world view. How does your system relate to the African world view? Who wants to be first?
Get that man a handshake.
Okay. Again, I represent the Osiris Set Society of Atlanta. And in terms of looking at the African worldview, the Osiris Set Society is a Pan-African spiritual organization or spiritual tradition. And as we all know, what we are looking at in ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt came from the mindset of the Africans who lived in that region. And a lot of the sciences and philosophies and disciplines migrated out of that area. So Pan-Africanism is definitely something that we support. So there's no question about Pan-Africanism. We recognize that that all African people have a role in the reestablishment of our oneness. And the way that we look at the concept of God is being able to integrate all of the different disciplines and all of the different behaviors, all of the things that we do. But then there are laws that govern those interactions. Those are what we refer to as the laws of Ma'at, And we also recognize that there are 11 desires that we all have. We have the desire to be peaceful, and the desire to rest, or the desire to unify with others, and the desire to know things, and the desire to accomplish things. So these are all things that we share, and there are 11 of these. But in order to to truly